There you go, guys, again. I've started trying to make a patch up for that back guard, for that wheel arch. I'm starting to get some reasonable shape in it, but I'm having some problems trying to get it to hold that curve as well as go that way, which is obviously not going to be easy. So I'm going to probably trim this down and maybe put a couple of slices in it just to try and see if I can get it to shape properly. I did think about getting a contour tool and drawing a grid on the guard where that piece is, and then like taking some measurements and transferring it to strips of timber and or wood or whatever, and tracing that contour on like sort of whatever the thickness of the timber is, and then shaping that bit of timber to each piece, and then keep joining together until I get a piece that represents that shape, and try and bend it over it or into it, and maybe make a reverse one so I'm actually pounding it into it and getting the right shape. And that was my thoughts there. Now, the other day when I was talking about there's different thicknesses of cutting wheels. I don't know, most of these guys are probably doing a bit of engineering work or this sort of work, probably know, but this is the real fine cutting wheel that I was talking about. There was one floating around work, like I work for a trucking company, and there was a couple of these floating around work in the workshop that I didn't realise were there. I knew we had a whole heap of these big old sort of thick ones, which are probably about 3mm thick, which is okay if you're just doing just a bit of general work and want to cut something off, or like you want to cut a weld off or something like that. They're not too bad. And this is the one that I was using, which is it's about 1.5mm thick, or a little bit over that. Now it's not quite 2, but this one here, they're just over 1mm thick. Like, they're really fine, which is perfect for what I was thinking about for cutting that other piece out on that guard, which I'll go back and we'll have a bit of a look, and I'll show you how this is sort of fitting too. I started making this the other night. Today's Saturday again, like it's the weekend again. I have started doing this Thursday briefly because I got home a wee bit earlier from work. Right. So we're getting some basic shape in there, but to get it to roll around here, plus still hold that curve, and I'm having a real battle, and that's why I sort of thought about using a straight edge, and then getting some strips of timber, that were, I don't know, like I've got some MDF here, which I could even use, which is about 12mm thick, I think it is, 12 or 16mm thick. So if I had a contour tool, I could push it in there, get the contour of that, and do the reverse of it, so it's, then I can lime a piece of steel and then bash it in. It's weaving this piece, that they've already got sort of semi-shaped. I can put it in there and actually force it into the thing, make a whole heap of pieces, and so I can get the basically the right shape. But I'll keep persevering for this for a wee while. But that's what I'm thinking. But I'll have to go buy a contour tool. I know they're not terribly expensive, but it's just getting into a hardware shop or a tool shop that's got one, and having a little bit of spare cash in the pocket to go do it as well. I'm just a bit scrimped for cash at the moment. It's kind of why I'm looking for another job, to try and see if I can get a few more dollars an hour, and hopefully move it closer to the major town. So my partner, once the little fella's gone to school shortly, like in a couple of months, she can look for some work in between school hours. So hopefully, he'll probably go from school from 9 till about 3 o'clock. So if she can get 4, 5, 6 hours work a day, that's going to help her money situation. But anyway, so that's what I'm sort of planning on here. So I'm going to try and get that sorted, and if I don't have much luck with that in battling, I probably will do that contour tool, and I'll try and shape that a bit better before I cut that out and repair in behind here, because there's a few cracks or splits because it's so thin, and a few more holes, and I want to have a decent look in here, but I don't want to cut that off until I get the shape of that right, so it makes my life a bit easier. So So if I don't carry on with that today, I'll have a bit more of a play. I might have a wee, see if I can pick the spot welds out of here and cut in around here somewhere. I'm just not 100% sure I'm going to cut, but I'll try and work that out and see if I can get that back out to the right sort of shape, and maybe weld it back on. Just saying, it's one more sort of step, done. And then once I get this back guard finished, we'll be moving on to the doors, and then just go around and just double check everything and just finish any little bits and pieces off. So that's the plan for today anyway. So I'll carry on with this bit in the meantime and give you some progress videos as I go and see how we get on. Alrighty, we'll catch you later. And back again just briefly, just to give you an idea of the thickness of those cutting wheels. Like, that's the thin one that I had that was almost sort of worn out, and then that's that little finer one. You can see how much thinner that is. Like, that's, it's just over that millimetre thick, and that's sort of borderline 1.5, 2. I've actually, I'll get that to focus, just that light's terrible. You can see I actually just went a little bit deeper with the thinner one after I put it on. I sort of put the thicker one on, and I thought, oh no, it's a bit thick. I'll put the wee fine one on, just to give this, so I can try and get a little bit more shape in it, because then I can close these gaps up and try and get that to curve, hopefully anyway, and then I can just come along and put a wee bit of weld on there after I've got it the right shape and bent it on. Alrighty, back to you shortly. There you go, guys. Back again. Now those little slices, actually they work pretty well. It was enough to relieve this, just to let it shape where it sort of needed to sit. Okay, we're not real perfect. Like, it's like if I had like a roll or something like that, I probably could come along here and sort of dolly the worst of those dents out. But the basic shape's right. And this is reasonable. So by the time I get the bottom guard welded on, and get this repaired and get that on, it's not going to be far away, and it's not going to be thick with filler to get it, like just to mud the shape, a little bit better. And once I got it welded on the car, I can probably knock this edge, I can get it better in line. Yeah, we've got the shape. There's a little bit of a gap here at the top, but like I can manhandle that into position when I weld it and all that sort of stuff. I probably can't get too far up in here with a dolly or anything, but I've got a couple of flat tie levers I can put them behind, and then I can panel. I can do a little bit of hammer and dolly action on the outside just to flatten it off, and I've got it welded in if I need to. So yeah, I don't think we're too far away. You can see those. Maybe you can't with the light. Hold on, I'll turn the light on my phone. There we go. You can see those little pie slices there. Like, it hasn't really shifted much, but it's just enough to let things move, I suppose. And plus, I cut the extra off. I've allowed about 15 mil to fold around this edge. So by the time I trim that off, that's going to sit back in a little bit further, and it's not going to be far away from where it was factory. It's pretty close. So yeah, by the time I weld that in there and get that bottom piece on, so I'm pretty happy with that now that I can trim this off and have a better look on the inside. So I'll get that little fine cutting wheel out, and we'll trim the excess off there, and see if I've got any spot welds in behind here, and we'll get that off and have a wee look. Righty, see you shortly. There you go, guys. Well, I've cut the bit off, as you can see. Well, this is all the sort of stuff that was all stuck down in here that last time too. So I don't know what it is. It's actually almost sort of. It's not actually dirt. I don't know. It's like a rubbery sort of stuff. I don't know whether it's been a sealer that somebody's put down in there, or whether it's factory. But man, it's thick, and it's probably trapped a bit of moisture down in there instead of stopping it. But anyway, so we've got that cut off, and as you can see, this piece in here is pretty buggered. So what I'll probably do is I'll nick it off down through here somewhere, and I don't know, we'll just bend up a patch and put in here. It's not going to take too much to put a wee bit of shape in that and bend it in there. It doesn't have to be super perfect, as long as it's right on the outside, and then we can bend it in a shape to meet up with the outer guard. So that's probably what I'll do next. I'll cut that piece off, and I'll shape up a little piece and then cut that piece off and try and weld it in there. It doesn't seem to be too bad, just a wee bit further up in. So and I can get them behind if I need to weld it up in here a little bit. Possibly what I should have done is probably made that panel come through a bit here, but should be right. We'll sort that out. Yeah, so we'll get rid of this and tidy that piece up, and I'll cut a wee patch and put in here, and that should be that piece done. Oh, there's a couple little pinholes down here just to weld up, but I should be able to get that with that bit of bronze in behind. But the rest of this, it's pretty buggered, so it's easier to make a patch than try and piss around and make honey out of dog shit, as they say. So yeah, at least we'll put a bit of clean metal in there. It's like it's kind of solid in here, so I should be able to weld through here reasonably well. Alrighty, we'll get back to you when we're getting this patch in. Alrighty, cheers. Here you going, guys. And a patch made, the first one anyway. I haven't got to this piece yet, but we'll get this glued in place, and we'll give you a shot when I've got it sorted. Basically, she's pretty good. I've just got to close the gap up here in the back with the hammer once I sort of get it spotted in place. I've drilled a couple. I've got like a tab folded over there like factory, and I've got a couple of holes drilled in that to weld that up, spot weld it up in there. But yeah, we'll get this one in, welded in, and we'll see you later. There you go again, guys. Right, I've got this piece welded in. I've started putting a piece in there. I've got most of these holes welded up, and the only thing I really got to do now, once I've got this sorted, is try and do something with this. A few bits and pieces down the back, behind that bumper, and then I'll start gluing the outside skin on. So we'll keep going, and we'll see you shortly. There you go, guys, back again. Right, patched this corner up, put a wee patch in here, and I managed to get these other spots welded up, and got a patch in there. That's not very round, but I'll tidy that up a little bit later. Yeah, I'll sort something out there. And then I've sprayed a bit of rust kill up in there, just to stop any more rust in there, and up in that corner. I've got an aerosol. It's a CRC rust converter aerosol, and it's sort of like a primer as well. So I've sprayed it up right up in that corner as far as as much as I can get it, to help sort of stop any more corrosion coming through there, and all on this inner panel and up in there. The rest of it, it's basically you're looking straight through into the boot there, or trunk, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'm just at the point where I'm about to start trimming everything and making everything fit properly. So I've trimmed the end off this guard, which is the piece that I've bent to go around that corner. Thinking maybe earlier I was going to cut a piece out of there. So I've trimmed that off, and I'm about to put a couple of screws back in the bottom underneath, and we'll start seeing where I've got to trim just to make everything line up, and I'll test fit that other small piece for up in here. I'll hold it all in position and just see where it needs, what needs to be trimmed where, and we'll get it all fitting. Alrighty, we'll do that and I'll get back to you. There you go, guys. Well, we're tacked on. It's not tacked on across the bottom or anything, it's just got 2 or 3 of those Tech screws in it, but it's tacked on across the join, and that other piece is tacked in. I'm reasonably happy with the way it's sitting. It's not 100%, but it's sitting pretty reasonable. I've had a look down the guard sort of both ways just to make sure that arch isn't sitting, out funny in one spot or real low or anything. So it's got a reasonable flow around that edge. So we're getting there. So I'll keep going, and we'll talk to you shortly.